how crazy, because I would never imagine you and I
No,
doing this.
no. Not from when we first met.
We met running? How we met?
Yeah, we met at Lake Merced, just doing pull-ups, doing some running. Well, you were running. I was dying.
I was dying too.
Yeah.
You know who wasn't?
Alan. That guy's
He's a
insane.
savage.
He's insane.
You know he got second place in the jiu-jitsu fight or
Yeah,
something like that?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really into his physicality, you know, pushing his limits big time.
Always.
Big time.
Yeah.
But I always tease him because in my prime, I would have smoked him.
Yeah.
I was faster than him in my prime, so I always tease him.
You heard that, Alan? We're talking about you.
That's right, man. I'm roasting you right now, man.
How are you? How you feel?
I feel good, man. I feel good. You know, like I told you earlier, just working through my own emotions and feelings, you know, that were hitting me hard this week. Valentine's Day coming around, and being a single guy and living at my mom's house, and you know, a lot of good things happening, but you know, painful things happen at the same time, and learning to forgive. That's been my main thing in the past week, is learning to forgive. I feel like I was blind to my need to forgive, how angry I was at a lot of people. Yeah. And I was burying it, you know, and I would talk about how mad, or I would talk about people or how mad I was, or situations, like it was normal or okay. And I didn't realize that I was really bitter and mad, and that even the things I said, I was hurting people and hurting myself just by being like upset all the time. And circumstances just pulled it around and just forced me to face like the fact that, look, you're angry, you're hurt, and you haven't forgiven the people that have hurt you. And yeah, so I was like, man, I didn't realize that was a big issue. So I was just like, I can't ignore this. I'm either going to like turn into some nasty person in a year or 5 years down the line, or I'm going to heal and I'm going to like become more loving, you know? It's two options.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've been like digging into it so serious and like really looking at it. That's why I think that's why it's the first thing I said to you when I saw you, because it's really heavy on my mind.
Yes.
As to like embracing this whole forgiveness process, you know? And at first it was daunting and it seemed impossible, but now it's seeming more possible and more, I see it more of a journey now, you know, as opposed to like, I just got to forgive and get it over with and make it right. Be patient, like work on it. Like it may take time with certain people who have hurt you more. Maybe some people you have a better relationship, you can do that easier. And just, hey, look, this is life, man. It's going to be the rest of your life. You're going to be forgiving people.
Yes.
You know? And so, and then, yeah. So I met up with some friends last night. We talked about this and like, we went to pray afterwards. And today I felt like, like there was I felt hopeful. I always feel a sense of hope, you know, because I look beyond this life. I look to God. I look to beyond this immediate. But I felt some, I guess, like tangible, like results of moving forward, you know?
Yeah.
Like I started saying things. I started feeling things that were different, you know? And so, yeah, that was huge. And so I guess that's why I say like, I can sincerely say that I'm feeling good this morning, emotionally, because I'm beginning to like, you know, I guess saw the rope that's holding all that bitterness and anger. You know, it's not gone yet, but I'm sawing it, and I can see like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. I need to get rid of this, you know. So,
well, I gotta say, first of all, this is gonna sound a little bit awkward, but I'm so glad to hear all that because I was mentioning this to you earlier. Uh, We saw each other, and that you just told me that right away. Hey, I'm going through some stuff,
Yeah.
and when I heard you, I felt relief because I said, "Okay, I'm not the only one. I'm going through stuff too." This morning, I woke up all of a sudden with a lot of anxiety. Fuck. But something that is helping me out is talk it out. Say it. We are not the only one. And I think that helped me a lot to say, hey, I feel anxious. I don't feel good. It's okay. We don't need to feel good all the time. It's okay not to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, speaking helped me a lot to process and to digest and to heal and to go through that journey of self-discovering and healing. And I'm listening to you. If you allow me to tell you this, you are achieving a very important a very important stage that a lot of people die and they never achieve this. You are being aware because you're recognizing, you're saying, hey, I need to forgive. I'm going through some stuff. And you are like, you're being mindful. That's powerful. And then you mentioned forgiveness. I can tell you something I did a few years ago. 7 years ago, 2017, I was in my lowest point in my life. And I had to deal with just exactly what you just said, forgiveness. I couldn't forgive my mom. I couldn't forgive my dad. I couldn't forgive my family. I couldn't forgive myself. Now, something that I did that it worked out well, I couldn't forgive. So what about if I ask for forgiveness? Rather than forgive people, I start finding others to ask for forgiveness. And I make a list and I went back to high school. I was already in my 30s and I went to high school and started calling friends. Hey, you remember when I did this to you? Yeah, what's up? Just want to say that I'm sorry, man. I really blew it up. And then I started calling another friend and I started apologizing to people. And something very interesting happened. Some of them, after a week or 2 weeks, they text me back and they say, hey, do you remember that day that you called me to apologize? Thank you. I really was feeling, I didn't know that I had some resentment. I said, wow. Being that said, that helped me a lot to forgive. And when I forgive, I was able to build again or rebuild relationships. Others not. There's some relationship like in my family that it was better to hey, this is I forgive my dad, forgive my mom, but it's better that we just stay away forever. That's it. Too much damage. There's no way to rebuild this. I'm seeing some patterns, some tendencies.
Right.
But forgiveness helped me. I had to forgive because we do it to ourselves.
Right.
Right? It's just and that's key because I think forgiveness, learn how to forgive is just a way, it's a discipline of it's kind of like self-love. You learn how to forgive and forgive yourself, you're loving yourself, and we need more of that.
Right.
Yeah. And then you mentioned of this, you're saying of this, and I told you earlier the reasons I want to create this podcast. And I was telling you, look, I don't have formality. Sometimes I even forget to introduce myself or things like that. And it's because I just want to connect like a real human. And I think that's what we're doing right now. Connecting like real human. We're not pretending. We're just being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that, man, about even just going back and seeking forgiveness in order to like fuel your ability to forgive.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happened with your parents and others. And that's something that I'm learning, like, you know, I mean, you know me, like, I think well enough that the Bible is what I try to model by and, you know, turn my heart to, you know, match at times, hopefully the best I can. Imitate, you know, the way Christ would think and live and do things. And he's big on forgiveness, right? And one of the stories that he told to like teach us about forgiveness, he was basically saying, just to sum up the story, he was basically saying, you need to be able to forgive anyone and everybody for the rest of your life at all times. Like you can never stop forgiving until you die. That's the level of forgiveness that will allow you to have a pure heart and allow you to live free. Like you said, to be I don't know exactly how you said it, but to be healthy for yourself, take care of yourself. You have to be able to forgive every day, constantly, even if it's the same person, even if it's someone that you can't have a relationship with because it's toxic, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And so he's talking about that reality. He's like, so yeah, forgiveness is going to have to be you, right? If you want, the fullness of life. And then he says, so I'll give you an example of how you're going to achieve that. Imagine that you've been forgiven $1 billion of debt. And you owe the government $1 billion. And they just said, well, we can either take you to prison or cancel it and set you free. And you're just like begging the court, please, I got nothing. I got kids at home. I got And they said, well, and the judge that day happens to be merciful. Okay. You whatever. We'll figure it out. We're already in debt $1 trillion to China, so what's the difference? And then that same guy, maybe being you meet someone on the street, maybe from high school. Hey, you owe me $200 from high school. What's up, man? And you choke him by the neck and throw him in the locker or whatnot.
I see.
And it's like, wait a second. There's a disconnect here. Like, you just got $1 billion set free. You were about to be in prison, San Quentin. And now you're going and choking out your high school buddy because he owed you $200. You can't let that go. Right? And I was like, wow. And I thought about it and I was like, and for me personally, I was like, dude, there's kind of that feeling of like, I can look at myself and think, yeah, I've been forgiven of a lot, but I'm kind of that guy that just feels entitled to be forgiven. And then when someone comes along and hurts me, I'm like, I'm all over them, And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's like, and then I had to ask myself, why do I not want to forgive people who have hurt me? Like, when I know that, like, I've been forgiven of a lot. And I got stuck, man. I was kind of like, dude, it was kind of like making me very uncomfortable to think about. Like, I call myself a Christian. I say I believe in Jesus and the cross and all this, and the forgiveness of all the sins of mankind and all this. And here I am getting mad and upset when someone does like one thing, two things maybe. and I hold on to it. And the only thing I could come up with was, and I don't even know if this is right, the only thing I could come up with was, there's something about like being forgiven and being loved and being shown great mercy that I personally haven't connected with. Like, it doesn't affect me personally in such a way where where it means a lot to me. So I don't possess it. I can't give it to people because I don't have it. It scared me, man, when I thought about it. I was like, oh, shoot. That's the only thing. It's like there's some kind of like gap. It's like, you know.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? It's like if I truly felt and knew and was grateful and just was like, believed that like I've been forgiven for so much and I'm so thankful for that. When I see somebody and they hurt me, I would have that in me to say, oh, it's okay. Because I know what it's like to be in debt to someone that I can't pay back. Right?
Yeah.
And so that caught me, you know? And that's something that I'm in this moment, like literally as you were pulling up to the driveway, that I was working on, that I was praying on. And I was like,
you're thinking about that, the podcast.
I wasn't really. I mean, I don't know. I was just kind of like, this is what's on my mind, is what I was thinking about. You know.
Do you think that's picking up, like saying it, help you out?
Yeah, I think it does because, you know, just, I mean, first of all, I think talking about what's in here, you know, with other people in general is like always beneficial, you know. That's just something I've grown to believe, you know, and through experience, you know. I think that's why I do it naturally. I do it. It's part of my speech, you know. But in particular, like talking about it, even as I talk about it, describe it to you, it's helping me kind of work through it.
Yes.
I'm working through it as I'm describing it.
Yes.
So yes, in that sense, it's like, okay, let me describe this. And then I have to rehash it and make sense of it in words. And it's not floating in the sky or in my mind or in my emotions. Like, it's like tangible, right? And then, yeah, so it does help to talk about it, you know, and then even just feedback, you know, like different, you know, like you shared about, you know, your high school, going back and asking for forgiveness. That's what made me even like, it made it even more, that actually helped me because it made it more real as to like, that's the kind of realness that I need to experience in my relationship with God. Like, if God is the ultimate forgiver, then, and he's an unending source of mercy and grace, like my high school friends, they may not forgive me, right? But God will all the time, right? So if I can have that kind of realness, then, oh man, I start imagining, I get a little excited. I'm like, that's power. That's power. Like, wow, to be able to have that kind of love and mercy in your heart.
Yeah.
That's strength, man.
So there you go. That's an exercise that maybe you can see. Like, hey, let me see who I need to ask for forgiveness. Following the same analogy of the debt.
Yeah.
You know, if the government, you had to pay $1 billion debt and they forgive you, maybe you need to give some couple checks to people. Say, hey, here's the $200 that I gave you that I was in debt with you.
Right.
And keep the same analogy.
Right.
Sometimes it works backwards. I did it and it actually works.
Right.
And
you know, it's funny because, you know, I've heard it preached over the years. Just, I've been a Christian for 23 years. So I've heard it preached over the years that the reason the Bible teaches us to confess our sins to each other, you know, a lot of people don't like that. They don't want to believe that, or it's like, oh, I can, talk to God. That's it. But, I've heard it taught and made very practical is the reason that you want to confess your sin to people and say to your high school friend, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. So that it's not so that you can like get anything, make, in return or back or better. But the main reason that you do that is because that affords you the opportunity to see grace. Because the majority of time that you go and confess humbly to somebody, now if you go up and say, hey, I'm sorry if I want to hit you. Okay, well, are you really, they may not go that well. But if you're really broken with a genuine person and you tell them, and especially if they were a friend or whatnot, and they give you that look in the eye and they pat you on the back and say, it's okay, man, like that's a little bit of the grace of God right there.
Yeah.
In person, right? And then you do that enough and it's like you start to realize in a tangible sense, in a real sense. But if it remains up here in the sky and just like thinking about it, maybe it's not so real. Maybe it's just kind of like, well, I guess I'm forgiven by this all loving God, Well, yes, but like we need to experience it in real time.
The action of doing it.
Yeah, we need to experience it in real time.
One thing is what we say. I think that something that I like to think I'm translating right now from Spanish to English. In order to be, we got to do. If I say I am this, I have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's kind of like the hard thing to
do.
Right. Actually doing it.
Right.
Yes. I want to ask you something. I think this is going to be interesting because I know you're a man of God. I know I think I met you. We were running. I think you had a Bible that day. You want to do a pray or something.
Yeah, I think we like prayed. That? I think I might have shared a scripture or something at the beginning. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So
to start us off on our little exercise.
That was the first time I met you. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last time I see you before this, but the very last time I see you, I was walking and I'm looking inside the window of a coffee shop.
That's right.
And I'm saying, this man with his head down reading. It was you reading the Bible. Right. And I invite you to the podcast. So, and I would never imagine that you were going through this because the perception that I have of you when I look at you, you're a very peaceful man. Now I understand that the same happened to me. A lot of people come to me and say, they just look at me and say, you have this energy. You are so peaceful. Tell me what the secret. And in my head is, I just got my demons very tight inside my head. I'm like, and I think we as human, we need to find ways to fight our demons in the way that it doesn't hurt us, it doesn't hurt others.
Right.
And we find ways. I dare to say that for you is the relationship that you have with God. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you, what is God for you? How do you define the concept of God?
That's a good question. Let's see. That's tough. I would say just, like God for me is, I want to say like he's a shelter.
Okay.
A shelter, a fortress, a safe place, a protector, a shield. he's understanding. He's wisdom. He's compassion. He's persevering. He puts up with a lot. He's believing, meaning he believes in me beyond what I would ever believe in myself. He provides. He provides food, shelter, clothing. He always puts people in my life when I need them, and the exact person or people that I need at that time. He's never left me alone. He's never left me. Well, I should say he's never left me alone without good reason, without good purpose. So in that sense, he can be trusted in whatever he does, even if it hurts. I've learned to trust the pain that he may allow into my life or even inflict. I've learned to trust it because I've learned to trust that he's got my best interest in mind, and he's never out to harm me. He's always available, always present, always on time, even though I don't like his schedule.
Come on, it's 24/7. You know what I'm asking you this?
Yeah, okay. I could have kept going.
No. I'm asking you this because let's put it this way. I have been, since I'm a kid, very controversial about what is God.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in a very conservative Catholic community,
mm-hmm.
which didn't go well with me. And that was at some point in my life, I felt, and I guess I still felt sometime like this, but it doesn't affect me anymore, that people who believe in God didn't get me or understood my point of view. And atheists, people, right? That's how you say it, atheists, the people who don't believe in God.
Outcasts?
People who doesn't believe in God.
Yeah.
Atheists? How you say it?
A taste?
Help me out here. I speak in broken English.
I'm thinking outcast.
Outcast? How you call someone who doesn't believe in God?
Pagan?
No.
Unbeliever? What? Antichrist?
No.
I don't know.
I'm not Antichrist.
I mean, that's the strongest form. But
yeah. But these people who doesn't believe in God, that say, look, I think there's not such a thing. Atheists. Thank you. Atheists.
Would have bothered us all day.
So you an atheist, you're not Antichrist. I can go that, but atheist. At some point, I considered the idea. It just didn't make sense to me to say, okay, I'm going to stop believing in God. Because the God that I was introduced was a God that it wasn't actually fixing or helping me in life. And I said, well, believing in that God didn't help me. And then believing that there's no God doesn't help me either. I think it doesn't make sense when I meditate. And just like you are going right now through the process of figuring out a way to forgive, I was in the process of discover what is God. And I just came out with this simple idea that God to me is energy of life. That's it. To me, I define God as energy of life, which might be a very simple statement with a lot of unanswered questions. And for me, it's okay if I don't know. I don't feel that I have to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying this because the idea of believing in something, in this case, we're talking about God, help us so much to go through our demons, if we can say it that way, to our struggle to, and I think a lot of the times what we need is just knowing in what we believe and explore that relationship with that belief. To me, that's have been kind of a key to be better human, or to have a better relationship with life itself. Defining what is God. And every time I'm seeing you, I'm seeing good energy. And I want to ask you, what is God for you? And the second, and you give me an answer. And the other thing I want to ask you is, what do you do to decompress all those emotions, all those wonders that you have in your head? And I dare to assume that maybe music, because of this time you have been here holding the saxophone, and people are going to wonder, why this dude is with the saxophone. and the other part I met of you is you're a musician. You're Christian, you're a musician, and everything that I've seen around you is good vibe. And the lesson that I'm having right now talking with you is, you're a man of God, and you dare to say, hey, I'm struggling with this. I think that's a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that it's easy.
Yeah.
But in another way, I'm calling you, you're a beautiful thing. and I appreciate that I'm connecting with you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I think for me, like, when it comes to decompressing, so to speak, and dealing with the demons and whatnot, I would say it's fairly simple. On the outside, it would be prayer. It would be meditating on the Word of God, in the Bible. And it would be, having, sincere talks with, especially other people who believe the same, about Jesus and His Word and His teachings. But really, it can come from anywhere, like you call yourself an atheist.
No, I'm not atheist. I believe in God.
Oh, you said,
yes. That was a time.
Oh, that was a time
that I said, let me challenge that idea. It didn't work out for me. I guess I found God by saying, I'm going to stop believing in you for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then I said, oh no, I think there is a God. That's why I tell you, God for me is energy of life.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
I apologize.
Yeah. No, that's fine. A lot of people still going to call me out, so you don't believe in God.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think those three elements, are pretty much all I really need, Now, music, is to me, it's a form of prayer. It's not different. It's not separate. So when I say prayer, maybe, maybe something that, would be typical to think is like maybe on the knees at the bedside or whatever, praying in the church or out maybe at the beach praying, I don't know. But to me, prayer is all those things, writing, anything, talking, laying on your back, praying, saying, or whatever. But also music to me is prayer. Writing lyrics, is a form of prayer. Even melodies, finding melodies is a form of prayer, because it's something that that would move my soul, move my spirit. That's why I don't copy any music. Like some people think I'm a little rigid. Like, I don't like to copy anybody. Like, I don't like to people, you've heard cover songs.
Yes.
I don't like doing that. It's never been, not that I would like put someone down if that's their thing, but for me, like, I just don't. Like, when I come here and everything I strive to bring from inside of me, and whatever it is, because it's prayer, it's expression, it's allowing my heart, to come out towards God, and also in that, I can also express myself to people, so yeah, all those things, put together, and man, the shapes and forms and times and places that those elements can happen are just, they're endless. They change in different times and seasons. Like, there was a time when I would walk the beach at Maury Point from the Pacifica Pier.
Yes.
Almost every day, and it would take an hour, and I'd walk it barefoot in the sand and just walk and pray and talk to God and back and come home. I do that every day for like, I don't know how long. And then I just got tired of doing that. And then I started sitting in the chair right here and just praying in the chair. And then I started like laying on my back in my room and just praying like that. And then I started walking down to the park down here, which is like a half mile, and bring my basketball and pray on the way down, shoot some hoop, and pray on the way back. So it just changes, right? Like,
can I say, and correct me if I'm wrong, can I say that when you pray, it's a way to be present in the moment with life itself? Or
yeah, very much so. I feel like it's the most present I can possibly be.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just, it is, like,
which I'm saying this because I'm sharing what I believe, what is God. You tell me, what do you believe of God? The way that you connect with God, the way that I connect with God, we're using different words, but somehow we pretty much kind of the same, because when you're describing all these prayers and the things that you do, you're saying that playing music is a way of praying. So I'm listening to you and say, wait a second. Then Chris is just living the present moment. He's just doing things to be focused on the present moment. You know how many people actually need to do that? There's people practicing that and they can't.
Yeah.
And you have that. And I'm saying, wait a second, I meditate a lot. And then when I'm listening to you, I said, this guy describing a meditation constantly. And that's a beautiful thing. I think if we are living in the present moment and connecting with that experience, then we're connecting with God. And through that habit, we can find answers. We can find gratitude. We can find happiness, joy. And yeah, we can resolve a lot of our problems that are happening in our head, find solutions.
All right.
And there's the other thing that I'm thinking while I'm listening to you is there's different ways to do it. It's not only just sit down or take knee. It just, hey, you can put God in music. You can put God even while you're walking, watching the sunset. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But in order to achieve that, we need to learn how to be in the present moment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Man, that's crazy. Sometimes I'm not even really that conscious of like how being musical with my prayers is actually putting me in that space. Like it's an intentional movement towards being in that present moment. Sometimes I'm not even conscious of it, but sometimes I don't even want to do it. I'm just like lazy. I'm like, I'd rather watch TV and just whatever. But when I go to that space and I'm in that element and I'm creating or whatever, or practicing something, like it's obvious that like I feel better. Like I feel more present. Like I'm locked in my mind, I'm thinking, and like 4 hours can go by. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get somewhere, because I was working on a song or something, and it was everything. Yeah, it meant something to me, and I was in there in that spot. Like I'm just now finishing a song called Seasons, and I actually wrote an email to a group of people in the church and said, if you want me to make you a song, I'll make you a song. Just tell me what you're going through, what you're facing, what you want it about, anything. And I'll make you a song.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And so only one person responded, right? I got to forgive everyone else, but the one person that responded, she wrote me like a full page email about what she was facing in life and everything. And it had to do with, maybe just not to disclose exactly who, no. But like, it was a lot of like, wow, okay. She really gave me something to work with. And I'm like, this is what I was looking for. Right. And so I started working on the song, and the song came relatively quickly, but the production went slow because I had to do that concert. I told her, I said, hey, look, I got your song. It's going to come, but you got to let me get through this concert. And then that. So within a week or so, I'm going to get it to her. It'll be done.
Is she a woman of God?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
She needs to understand patience.
Yeah, exactly. That's the secret lesson.
Right. That's a great idea. I didn't know that. So
yeah.
This is your first round of doing this?
Well, not really. In music, no. I've done it for my mom, my dad, her former girlfriend.
All right.
I've done it, yeah, and then I've done it in poetry too. I've done it in like poetry for others.
I think we should share that information, your information in the podcast, and if
I really enjoy doing it because
would you keep if
I would do it.
You would do it. Okay, here we go. And I heard your music is good. Actually, your music is good, and I'm here wondering, how should we play the music or something? I really would like, if people want to listen to you, this is a free ad for you. Just run the show. Tell me and tell to the audience, where can we listen to your music? Yes.
Okay. Like links.
Okay. Numbers, everything that you want to share, because I heard to your music and I think it deserves to be listened. You are actually a truly musician. And I remember when we were setting up the podcast, you told me, you want to listen to some of my beats? And then I just stopped doing, I was doing things kind of in the vibe. I said, well, that's good.
Got it. Okay. So, my artist name, should I look in the camera when I say this?
You look to the camera. That's your camera.
My artist name and my birth name are the same. Christopher Leo Velarde. Now, I spent my youth trying to find a cool name, change my name, rap name, all this stuff. Eventually I gave up because nothing felt right. And then I realized that my first name, Christopher, actually means he who carries the good news of Christ within his heart to the world. And I said, well, why do I got to change my name? So that's my name. That's my music. And that's my artist name, Christopher Leo, Leo Velarde. Leo is my grandfather on my dad's side, who I never met. He died when my dad was young. Velarde is my last name, Velarde. So Christopher Leo Velarde, look it up on any streaming platform, Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. If you want to go to my YouTube and Instagram, that tagline is at Chris RAPSALMS.
We will leave the description below.
Okay. So let me speed this up. I'm trying, it's complicated. So
Yeah.
Chris Rap Psalms is the way it goes. So those are the two taglines.
We're going to put the description below the video. Man.
All right.
Yeah. I had to tell you something that I got in my pocket a while ago. Bro, are you Latino?
Half.
You have Latino. Okay.
Half Mexican, half Filipino.
How'd that happen? Half Mexican,
half
Filipino.
How'd that happen?
Yeah.
You gotta ask my parents.
Who is who?
My mom is Filipino.
And your dad is Mexican?
Yeah.
How cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just got set up.
Yeah, that's
in
cool.
high school or something like that.
Huh. Love.
Yeah, but they divorced though. They divorced when I was 17.
Oh.
98. Yeah. They didn't make it.
Well, but they have you.
But I'm here, so and they get along when it comes to like the kids,
That's good.
So
that's
cool.
good. Yeah, that's good.
And I'm friends with both of them. Both of them I'm really close to, good friends, good relationship. So is my sister,
Oh, you have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
So
2 years older.
She's older. So you're 2.
2 years older, yeah.
Okay, and you are 2. You're a couple, like the girl and boy.
Yeah, just us 2. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Family is important. I build family through friendships. That's what I do. So for me, friendships are important. That's why I don't have too many standards with friendship. When I said that, what I mean is my friend doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
My friends can screw it up. Of course, there's some standards, there's some line, between, there's some expectations. But my friends, they get mad at me, I get mad at them. And I say, look, if you're my friend, I don't have a family. So friend is important. And family is important too. But creating that connection, it is important. So I'm talking about Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. I say Mexican are my second family because when I arrived to the United States, Mexican helped me a lot emotionally and connecting to people. Yeah. And I like Mexican girls too a lot.
That's crazy, man, because for me, like, I'm like, a lot of my friends tease me and basically say that like just tell me I'm like a white boy. Like I'm just white inside.
You? Yeah.
Like, man, you got no culture, bro. You're not Mexican. You're not Filipino. You ain't nothing. You just American. You're just a white boy. Basically, we don't know what to call you.
But this is funny because Mexican have a lot of culture. Filipino has a lot of culture, and I call Filipinos. I call them the Latin Asians.
Okay.
Filipino is the other version of a Puerto Rican. When I moved with Filipinos here, I moved to the Bay and, I was looking for place and I was wondering and said, I got to move to, how situation is here. So I moved with a Filipino family.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel I'm with a bunch of Latin people, just Asian.
That's it.
It's just very similar. But the good cultures are have a lot of culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to do a lot of assignments, You think the love of your life is Mexican, Filipino, or
I have no idea.
yeah,
You know,
maybe.
it's crazy, man. Like I truly, honestly, like, did you grow up in this area?
No, man, I moved from place to place. My dream
See,
was to disappear and escape from Puerto Rico,
mm,
and then I found ways, and I
okay.
travel and travel.
See, that's why. Because so
But I know what you mean. Here is very challenging. I think the psyches and the culture,
mm,
the way that people are wired, is challenging here. I think the mental health, expectations, economy, it is hard but it's not impossible.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think for me, just growing up like in this Bay Area and this West Coast and this neighborhood and this peninsula, San Francisco, like I don't know anything else. I've never traveled. I've never gone. I've never lived in other cultures, in other areas.
You went to school? Like you
I went
have
to Santa Barbara for a time, but that was only like 6 months.
I tell you something. I have my bachelor's,
Mm-hmm.
I have my master's, and then I went to film school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have done a lot of things that have been kicked out or finished or not finished. So I have been a lot in schools, universities,
Mm-hmm.
and not disrespectful to my professors. I have great teachers, great professors, but the most important things that I learn in life is
Mm-hmm.
because I travel
Mm.
and I learn from people.
Mm.
I just give you a hint. Bro, you have the opportunity. I mean, you create the opportunity of disappear and just travel and just speak English. And just, I think maybe you can find a wife somewhere. No, and
Yeah.
it just, you know, is that something that you want? I don't know, but definitely, the good thing about the Bay Area is everything is here, and I
Mhm.
think a lot of people come here, and if they can make it, they stay here.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something also going on outside the world, and I don't know the Bible too much, but I think Jesus kind of like he also had his road trips, if we can call it that way.
He never stayed in one place.
He moved, right?
All the time.
And I recommend that to every man, to every woman. It just travel. It just
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future,
Yeah.
know, for me at this time in my life, I don't think I can. But and it's not like I'm against it. Like, to be honest, I have this. I don't even really know why, but because I don't know much about this place. I want to go to Tuscany, Italy.
Oh.
I just want to get a nice white suit, hang out in the alleyway, and blow my horn in Tuscany, Italy. It's just a fantasy I got.
Good taste.
Just disappear into the wine groves and just in Tuscany, Italy. You know what I'm saying? Go back to my little, shelter. I'd probably have just the most amazing, beautiful, gorgeous wife at that point, and just lay back in my lair.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a fantasy that I got about moving to Tuscany, Italy, and just just dying out there, basically.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's a place.
Like it's kind of a thing, but
you had that dream. You're young,
but that's the thing. It's like to me, that's just kind of like I don't know what it's a fantasy, to me of like an escape reality or an escape of just total like relax and enjoy and hang back. But in truth, I look at that and I say that's cool. But in truth, I'm like, you know what? Like God has me here in this house, in this block, in this city, in this Bay Area, and he's got work for me to do. Like, I'm not.
You feel that?
Yeah, I'm not here to like travel and like have fun. That's not why I'm here. Yeah, I can have fun when I die and go to heaven and chill forever. You know what I'm saying? But while I'm here, I got work to do. I got labor to do. That's how I see it. So if I'm going to travel, it's going to be for purpose. It's going to be for work, for labor, for God. You know, it ain't going to be because I want to just, you know, dance through the grapevines and, you know, hang out. It's more of a fantasy. You know what I mean?
You sound very happy when you're saying that. So, you know, when you're describing why you're here, so that's making you happy?
I am because it's the sense of like being here to represent God, to you know, bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to as many people as I can in as many ways that I can, and to contribute to that purpose. Like, it gives me a reason to be alive, to live, you know, beyond just the daily things, you know. And so yeah, it's a very rooting central purpose, you know, for being alive. And, you know, relationships, you know, friendships, fun, good things, all these things, they're there, but that's not my reason. That's not my purpose for living. That's not everything.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
And a purpose is very important in life. I mean, that's what actually saved my life, having a purpose. That I always say to people, you have to have a purpose. My purpose of life is to bring value to people through my words. If not for everybody, a lot of people is gonna say you cannot bring me value, but that's one of my purpose. And something very important in my life is to connect. That's the reason of the podcast, just to connect with people. I got this dream. If one day I can, let's say if I don't know how I'm gonna die, but let's assume that one day I'm gonna be in the deathbed, just old and farting and all messed up, and I'm gonna watch these episodes and feel that my life was meaningful because I have the ability to connect with others and exchange ideas. And I think that is something that I can do anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where I am, as far as there's people. Ideally, I will record this, but if I cannot record it, that's okay. You know, the most important thing is just to connect with people and learn from people. And to me, I think how I'm going to feel at the end of my days, that makes me happy. The concept of God, I see it as energy of life. And the best thing that I can do to honor that energy of life is just be a good human being. I learned from Christians. I learned from non-believers a lot. I have been impressed with a lot of the teaching with people who don't believe in God. I do believe in God. We can say we believe in God. For me, that is very important. We believe in different ways, but we do believe in something. And when I talk to God and I ask I don't call he or she, I say, what do you want from me? I got the feeling that I say, just do your best in life, enjoy life, and do what is right. And usually do what is right is a lot of sacrifice. You know, life, especially, and living life as a man, I think it's not easy. It's very hard. So I can choose between suffering or sacrifice. So a lot of the time, I like to think about sacrifices and just that empty suffering. I think a lot of people suffer And it's actually because they disconnected from God or disconnected from purpose. And I like to see, well, that pain, that discomfort, let's use it as a sacrifice. But to me, it's very important to enjoy life and to have fun and just feel sensations and see places and see things. And combine that by doing something meaningful. And that sounds amazing, but it's hard. It's hard, it's hard. But that's okay. I'm not looking for having an easy life at all. I don't care about having an easy life. I try, and I think since I'm a kid, my life has been difficult, way too much. And I think that the things that I'm doing right now and how I'm testing myself, there's nothing easy. Everything is what I'm doing is complicated, complex, hard, sacrificing a lot of things. But that makes me happy. And I think as far as we have a purpose that makes us feel happy, that's all it counts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, for me, it's very, very, very important connecting. So I'm glad that I'm connecting with you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
What would you say? Is everybody who listening to you right now? Like, oh snap. There's kids, there is young people who feel lost, that they don't know what the F is going on. What would you say?
Yeah. Can I play a little piece for you?
Yes. You hear the question. So you're going to play. All right.
Okay, so what would I say to the kids, to the people, to everybody who's feeling lost, feeling like they need some direction, some hope? I would say nothing, but I would allow Jesus to speak, and I'll speak on his behalf. Because in John 14, verse 1, he said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God and trust also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we don't know where you're going, so how can we know the way?" Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really knew me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." So Jesus is telling his disciples in a moment of trouble, when they don't know what to do, where to go, he's telling them that he is the way to eternal security. And he's talking about not just some fancy place up in the clouds, but he's talking about a home, a secure home with his Father. And he's going there to prepare a place for every single individual who is willing to receive that place and trust in that place. And so I would say, look to Jesus, because he's the one who's going to get you to that spot and to that place. And to my little niece, Ziana, who's 7 years old right now, one day maybe you'll watch this video and you'll hear this from Uncle Chris. And this is especially for you, okay? So I wrote a little tune to this on my saxophone, and I'm going to play it. after I get it locked in here.
All right.
Okay. How's that? Okay, so this is called Many Mansions There. The Father's got a mansion for you. All right, so that's just a little piece for you right there.
Bro, how you feel?
Feel good.
Good?
Yeah.
I feel good, man.
Been waiting to blow that horn for a while, so I felt good.
All right, brother. Then we exchange good energy. We decompress. We have some kind of like self-help, both of us,
That's right, man.
like a therapy, you know.
We're healed, man.
It's healed connection. That's what we need, man.
That's right, man.
You know. Thank you. I'm very glad that I'm very happy that you're in this show. I'm truly happy. You know, like I said, I'm not a Bible guy. I don't know how to put that together. But how interesting. I remember the way that I saw you the first time. You know, and I saw you. I can say I saw a man of God. And I approached to you. I felt a good vibe. And at that time, I still didn't have people for the podcast. I just go and talk to you and look beautiful. I think that what we discuss here is going to resonate years to come. So I want to say thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for putting this all together.
Cool.
You know?
And I really wish that you go to freaking Italy.
Hey, man. If I disappear one day and you can't find me, you know where I'm at. Tuscany.
All right, bro. We good, man. This is it. How you feel?